to Kinetic Impressions Movie News. This video, we're going to be talking about a Blumhouse film that's going to be based off of a New York Times article. This is crazy, guys. This is nuts. Okay, so this New York Times article, will be linked at the bottom of the description of this video or wherever you're listening to us. So, this New York Times article is entitled, "She Stalked Her Daughter's Killers Across Mexico One by One." So this article is actually not behind a paywall, so you can totally watch it. I'm sorry, you can totally read it. It is about this mother in Mexico who goes on a mission to bring all of her daughter's kidnappers to justice. To just kind of give you a feel about this article, I'm going to read a small excerpt. Quote, "She cut her hair, dyed it, and disguised herself as a pollster, a health worker, and an election official to get their names and addresses. She invented excuses to meet their families, unsuspecting grandmothers and cousins who gave her details. However small, she wrote everything down and stuffed it into her black computer bag, building her investigation and tracking down one by one her daughter's kidnappers." If you have a moment or a solid half hour, because it's pretty long, to read this article, it is harrowing, it is exciting, it is sad, but I can completely understand why there was a complete bidding war for this story. Now, so Drew, you and I know, dealings with the Mexican cartels pretty intimately, seeing as how you and I are both of Mexican descent, right? Dude, what do you think about this? Like, Blumhouse is going to be producing it. The story is, like, to me, a cross between a really fucking solid Taken movie.
Yeah.
Right? And one of these articles actually has, it's funny, like, I'll show you this article. One of these articles has Selma Hayek just shooting a machine gun. This is what this movie would be to me. It's like a Sherlock Holmes mixed with a Mexican mother Taken Selma Hayek movie. Just wild and exciting to me.
If you have a second, Arnie, just Google the Miriam Rodriguez just to get a picture of her. She looks like every Hispanic mother that you and I have ever known. Like, and she does have the short, like in all the article pictures, she does have the short colored hair. So, like, I can only imagine what she looked like before this. But like, every picture that she sees, she just looks like she looks like if I walked into her house, she would make me a warm plate of food and it would just be on the table. Yeah. Like, she's just that sweet, nice lady. Yeah. But that's a great picture. Yeah. All of these women though are cutthroat when it comes to their children. You know as well as I do. They are all cut. You do not mess with their kids. You do not go for that nest. Because if you mess with that nest, you are getting spread eagle. Big mama's come for you. You know what I mean? Like, she's coming, man. And like that's why I'm already excited about this story. Like, my first question was just like, is she still alive? Did she pass away?
So spoilers, read the article. It is amazing. She was actually murdered towards the end. Now, the reason this is like the reason there's a bidding war is because this article does read like a movie the entire way through, because she fucking gets people. She gets detectives to actually go after people. She does police work, like real fucking police work. She actually stayed outside of in a car waiting while somebody worked and like learned their schedule just so that she knew the right time to go in there and talk to them. She tracks down witnesses and also talks to witnesses and makes the Mexican police actually take down part of the syndicate that took her daughter. It's wild. totally wild.
I
Um,
read somewhere in that article too that she started like Facebook groups for other people, other people's kids who had disappeared because she
oh
was
yeah,
concerned about it. She
her
she
dad.
did so much.
Yes,
They have like a plaque honoring her somewhere, like because she's done so much for the community to get rid of those people who were like who
yeah.
were obviously
She started an organization
yeah.
of a support group for other parents who have had their children kidnapped, and is actually that network is in place to where if other families have their children kidnapped, by the way, kidnapping happens fucking a lot in
Habits. Yeah,
Mexico, so much that that network is now run by her son and have actually actively helped return kids back to their parents.
that's
Um,
awesome. That's
yeah,
crazy awesome.
it's
As soon as you said that, I'm glad you said Taken because like as soon as you said that, it reminds me of this movie, this old movie with Sally Fields, which like I know
oh my
what you're
god,
gonna
I know
say.
what you're
Like
talking about.
it's let's say fuck Hollywood, but you and I are like the only people who've ever watched this movie. But it's called I'm Not Leaving Without My Daughter, and
God, yeah, yeah.
had it had Sally Field as the mom and Doc Ock, but like before Doc Ock
Oh
was
my
Doc
god,
Ock,
yeah,
it had Doc Ock as the Iranian or Pakistani dad, and he goes back to his home country after living in America, and they were like this nice family in America, but when they go back to like I don't know what country it was, but it was a Middle Eastern country. And when they go back there, it's like all of a sudden it's like, nah, man, you got to cover up, and I'm gonna slap you around. And then like she gets really freaked out, and then the movie's called I'm Not Leaving Without My Daughter. So
for
she
sure.
just like gets her daughter, and she like travels through like the desert to get away from her husband. It's a crazy film, but for some reason like that with Taken kind of just came into my head
Yeah,
immediately, and I was like, that's what we need right now is that kind of movie. This movie gets me excited. um I'm gonna go watch it. Like I love reading just more. I'm gonna read more articles from it because these articles are
dude,
crazy. I mean,
dude,
they,
it is.
they went against the Cetas. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah,
crazy. This is a crazy thing, and like I have some family stories that could be a movie because
yeah,
they're so ridiculous. From the Cartel does ridiculous things.
yeah,
Like Breaking Bad is just like a tiny smudge of what they do.
for
Like
sure.
they are some scary ass people.
100% and 100%, funded by American drug abuse.
By us.
100%. Um, I really wanted to ask you. I know maybe not. I don't want to put you on the spot, but who do you think you would get to direct this? So personally,
Hmm.
I would see this as a solid Quentin Tarantino revenge flick.
Really?
Like Like, yeah, I feel like this would. I think that he could do justice to this story.
I agree that he could do justice for it. Um,
Or just one last thing. I would want him to write the script, but have Robert Rodriguez direct it.
I like that. Um, I was feeling more of like uh what was that Daniel Day Lewis movie? The Oil. What about the Oil?
But there will be blood.
Yeah, I was
You mean
thinking
Thomas? I'm sorry, Paul
Paul
W.
Thomas Anderson.
Oh
I was
yeah,
thinking of like a quiet, like scary Paul Thomas Anderson. I mean, like uh, it's Blumhouse. I'm sorry, but like it's Blumhouse, so like I know that that's not what they're like reaching for. Is it's not the Tarantino Paul Thomas Anderson type thing. I think this would be a great like who does Denzel like to work with? Like a Man on Fire. Man on Fire would have been great if they just casted the right people.
I think I think Man on Fire is one of the best Denzel movies ever made.
I think it's so great, and I think like it takes place in Mexico City. It has Jennifer Lopez's ex in it, Mark Anthony.
I,
It,
I think
it's a Tony Scott movie,
yeah,
and
I
like
was gonna say it was. I
I
think it
think
was one of the
either of
better.
the Scotts, this would be great because it's like I think it'd be great action. I think the reason why this Man on Fire comes to mind is like he doesn't
Oh
so much
yeah,
just kill people,
I like
but
that.
he likes to destroy their lives, and then like what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I can see
yeah,
more. I can see more of a Tony Scott like getting this woman to like this old, this old gingerly woman, and she's just like fucking up shit, and she's just playing detective, and she can like blow things up, but she's not like killing the people.
I,
But at the end, she does kill like the one person that she finds responsible or something. Like one of those kind of.
For sure. I do like that though. Man on Fire is a really good like kind of like homage to this. If this was done in homage to Man on Fire, because it's set in Mexico City, it's about a girl getting kidnapped, and it is just a badass revenge flick. I totally feel that.
Yeah, it's just the woman in it, I think, makes everything. I think it makes
Yeah.
it like just blows my mind. I was like, we can do so much with this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited for the story to be told. And it's interesting that we're now starting to see within popular culture Mexican cartel stories being told a lot now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's kind of a sidetrack thing I want to bring up, but like kind of a cultural thing. So like there's this guy who made a book about gangs, a history of gangs. He was on a Joe Rogan podcast once, but he talked about how every like subculture that involves an entire race of people that have immigrated to the US always have their time of being part of a gangster culture. It first was with the Irish,
Yeah.
right? And then that moved
IRA.
into yeah, and then that turned, and then when they got their day in the sun, and like after they were able to have generations here and be able to make it in their own way, it turned into the I was gonna say the Jewish people, but it was really it was really the Catholics. It was really the Catholics, and then it was the Jews,
Yeah.
and then it became the Italians,
Yep.
and then I think it was African Americans, and now it's becoming Hispanics in general, just
And
because.
we had that short little Russian bridge where we could put a Russian anywhere because
Yeah,
of the Soviets,
yeah,
and then just because of just Russian culture in general.
for
Like,
sure. Yeah, so like
but
now, yeah,
yeah, I think about like I think about a lot of the stuff you were that you were talking about, like when you first went to Salvador and stuff like that,
yeah,
and then like my other really good friend Jesse, he had gone to Honduras, and there was a lot of wars going between those countries, and I think about all like the Trece and all the gangs that actually got started there in those countries,
yeah,
and when they came to LA, people were honestly too scared to actually mention those gangs and those affiliates. Like they made up fake affiliates
yeah,
just instead of actually mentioning that. And I feel like that's kind of where we were in culture, is like I think 10 years ago, too scared to mention the Zetas in there, because the Zetas would actually find you and kill you if you made a movie about them or
yeah,
exploiting them. So I think we're just finally getting to that time where it's such public knowledge that we can go ahead and talk about it.
yeah. It's the fever pitch coming. I mean, that's the reason these migrants are coming over. The gang violence happening in all over Central and South America is it's staggering. It's huge. It's affecting lives here.
Yeah.
It's good that these stories are being told. I'm glad that Hispanics are starting to move the needle when it comes to big studio movies. Granted, this is Blumhouse, but there was a legitimate bidding war between several studios to make this movie because of the harrowing article. I implore you guys, if you want a really good, solid 30-minute read, this article is
Good.
amazing. It's really good. I think we did it, my man. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
Please like, subscribe, comment, be part of the conversation. What do you think about Hispanic history and movies and things like that?
Leave us a comment.
Please. We'll shout you out for sure. Ask a question. Again, Kinetic Impressions on all podcasting platforms. If you're watching us and if you're listening to us, please follow us on YouTube as well. Like and subscribe. And then I'm Arnie Diaz. I have a podcast called The Arnie Diaz Show, available on all platforms as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Go watch a movie.
Go watch a movie.